sitting in a dark room that smells like bad cucumbers.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Inconceivable!
Now featuring 11 listeners.
This is the Unique Geek.
You slimy scumbag, get on your face and give me 25.
This is the Unique Geek.
And welcome to another edition of 50 Days of DragonCon, the podcast. It's always a day late, but somehow on time. And joining me, as always, is the beautiful, even though you can't see her, Lee.
Hi, everybody. I apologize for not having a camera right now. I have a bit of a fever, and I'm going to be having an appointment with my doctor. We do not think it's COVID. We're really open. But my skin right now is green and yellow. It just is not pretty. So we're going to keep it kind of covered right now.
So Lee, you're just starting your cosplay early, is what you're saying. Who are you cosplaying as?
Exactly. If I could take a big black slate with me, that would be awesome. But I don't want something heavy because it'll be hot because it's Atlanta and it's damn hot.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it's damn hot. John, I got a text message about 30 minutes ago that Rachel was driving up to you. And I told her, go on in and knock on the door really loud because you're up in your little studio thing.
Let me see. Oh, a Batmobile just rolled in. Hold on one second. Oh no, wait, that's an Ecto. What? There's a sandcrawler. There's lots of vehicles pulling up. And Rachel's getting out of every single one of them. Hold on one second. Let me see.
She's got an entourage, baby.
Who is it? Come on in. Hey, it's Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Thanks for having me. Man, that was a way better entrance than I could ever pull off myself. Thank you.
It'll be a first.
It's better than we usually do. Let's just there. And Rachel, however you figured out to clone yourself, you really should share that technology with DragonCon because we need it.
I'm telling you, I will. One day, as soon as I figure it out, maybe.
As soon as you figure it out and have it perfect, right. So now, Rachel, you are the co-chair of DragonCon.
I am, yes, indeed.
And that's a really cool title, but what does it mean exactly?
Yeah. Wow. It is. So primarily, we all kind of divide and have our own areas of expertise and responsibility. So in that regards, I am primarily focused on all things guests related. So I'm responsible for getting the guests basically to the show and working with our amazing partners and agents to make that happen and leading the guest committee for the applications, all those kind of things. And then the other side is media. So all things media, which let me tell you, it's just delightful sometimes. So that'd be like social, the website, media relations, really everything DCTV, which is a phenomenal powerhouse. So all of those are also under my umbrella. And then kind of the co-chair part of it is more where we have oversight to the entire convention. So we're supporting our senior directors, our directors with anything they need and looking at the overall strategy for the show and operations-wise, all the little nitty-gritty pieces that have to happen before we get on site to have a convention, working with the hotels, working with all our partners across the city and everything. So it's an exciting job, but a lot at times.
It's a lot at times because for you, DragonCon really does start like Sunday, Monday next week.
It does.
Well,
I beg to differ. I do sleep for usually a day to 2 days, a solid with only cereal. That's my husband thinks it's the weirdest thing. But yeah, right after we really do the deep dive to understand good, bad, ugly from the year previous. But yeah, so it's crazy. So next week from the Monday through probably the next Tuesday, intense, and then come home and hibernate. So
and then come home and takes a really long nap.
Yes, try
for like a week. Yes, that sounds good. Okay, and you said you were in charge of guests, and this year I got a couple of to me only messages, and people are like, I don't understand why guests are having to not come, and I'm like, okay, because certain countries aren't letting them travel, and or they have other things. And as John and I always say, if you're coming to DragonCon for one guest, you are missing the point.
Agreed.
So, agreed. And you were wonderful last year with it. This is not counting against any guests who aren't able to come. You said that at our last directors meeting, which was
Absolutely.
wonderful. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself.
Right, and
which
that's
is why my screen is black.
exactly the approach we've taken. And honestly, looking back at this year, I've been very pleased at the number of guests that want to, but the flexibility is key. And understanding, we've done a lot of measures to keep obviously the guests and fans and everything safe, and then but it has been a tricky year, and you're right, because you're dealing with restrictions on borders. You're also dealing with if anybody's actively filming. Some of them have limitations as far as quarantine and not being able to leave the set and all those sorts of things. So this year has certainly taught me a lot when it comes to guests in particular, but really across the board is just, remaining flexible and giving grace and just understanding that it's going to be, a wonderful show and remembering why we're doing it. And all those things, but guests in particular, it's been a challenge. But I'm very proud of the lineup that we created, and that and they're really excited. That's the other benefit of my role is I've gotten to see the flip side with the guests and how excited the people are to get back to their fans. So that's been very endearing and refreshing to me. Is the people that are going to be at DragonCon this year. Not to say that the people that are not. But they truly want to be with their fans again. And this has been a really long, couple years for them being away and all those things. And this is, where a lot of their heart is. And so I'm excited to have that for our fans and obviously for the guests that are joining us.
Now, along those same lines, some of the reasons why people have, again, had to drop out is because of safety and or various other reasons. We've talked a lot about it this year. It's been a hot topic everywhere, and not just for DragonCon, but for other conventions as well as just life in general. You've got some safety requirements this year, and do you want to give us the highlights on those, and then some of the things that maybe DragonCon? I know you announced last night during town hall some new things that DragonCon's bringing this year specifically for around COVID, really what we're really talking about.
Sure. It's a lot. So I would say our biggest and the thing that we want the most help getting the word about is the requirements for badge pickup this year. And that is something we added later. And it was in response to honestly just the ever changing environment. For a bit there, it really looked up. It really looked like it was not going to be the same challenge we're seeing today. And, we remained optimistic, but very closely tied to the city, to all of our health experts that, have kind of guided us in things. But the most recent we did put place is that you do have to show your proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test taken within 72 hours of badge pickup. And that's been a big one. It was just one final piece that we felt like with all the changing numbers had to occur to kind of make us feel more safe. We stayed closely tied to a lot of the events that were occurring before us, and saw that the events that had similar things in place had a really good response in limiting the spread of COVID. And that is something that we really got to the point where we just felt like it was a necessary step for us. On top of that, probably the other biggest one that people are talking about is the indoor mask mandate. Obviously, City of Atlanta does have a mask mandate, as well as CDC did change their requirements relatively recently to include both vaccinated and unvaccinated. So we've put that in place to obviously reinforce what the experts are saying in the science and, of course, the city. So that's a big one. Outside of that, the attendance probably being the third largest thing that we're doing, which is limiting the attendance. We are anticipating roughly half of what came and saw us in 2019. So it will be a lot more room to spread out. Another thing with that is we've expanded the badge checking. So to make sure that people that are not badged and not coming to DragonCon are not allowed into the space. So we'll continue to see that this year, and even far more expanded than it ever has been before, to make sure that the spacing is there. And then, you know, a lot of it was whenever anybody asked me, it's like we took a very stepped approach, if you will, where we kind of looked through the show at first when things were really looking up and thinking about small ways that could just help. Anybody that's been to DragonCon knows that those lobby areas are packed. And, you know, so that was one thing we did early on, was know that we were going to put the fan tables, which we love. We love our fan groups. We love giving people the opportunity to come talk to their fans, whether it's other conventions or, you know, just different groups around all of the interest of our people. But, you know, we decided to put that on hiatus pretty early just because it didn't make sense. So we've taken that approach all along through the whole show, is to say, when we think there's congestion, when we've seen it before, what can we do differently to not do that? Concourse is another great example. They're spacing out their performances every other so that it's not encouraging people to just congregate and sit, which we love in a normal year, but this isn't the best year to do that. So that's kind of the approach we've taken. So I kind of look at it as the big three. And then on top of that, just the approach of looking at every aspect of the show and what makes sense. And with that, part of the spacing is that the ballrooms will be 2/3 capacity to allow spacing when you're actually sitting in the panel space. So yes, and I mean, it's a really long list, but I'm not going to bore you. But that's, I would say, the biggest to highlight.
And I want to say something too about the parade, that Atlanta does not have an outdoor mask mandate, but you're going to end at an area where everybody congregates really, really close together.
Right.
And you're going to want to go into one of the hotels.
Right.
So either already have your mask on. We talked about this with Annie about parade. Either have your mask on or have it ready to go, because that's going to be an issue if you don't have it.
Yeah,
absolutely. It will be a big issue. As far as DragonCon members, I would say the non-DragonCon members with the parade is the biggest difference this year as well, in that we have said that it's DragonCon members only, and have been supported very much so with the city with that, and spoke in detail with some of the other groups that have done things similar, including the road race, that had a really incredible compliance with that. And so, yeah, lots of changes on that side, but agreed. If you see me, you will see me in a mask. I mean, like, I'm taking the precautions, as everyone should, whether mandated or not, to keep myself as safe as possible. And I encourage everyone to do the same.
Yeah. We have a couple of questions in the audience. One was, are we still potentially sharing host hotels with football fans, or is it a badge holders only? I know some people have talked about getting past requirements by giving people keys.
Let's say I will follow up. I have not seen anything with keys. We are actually incredibly tied right now to the city of Atlanta, who's helping us monitor a lot of the social media, as well as obviously our team for that. The hotels, we take up everything that is not contracted by the hotels. As long as our members are purchasing it, they go to us. Now, there is a small block in some of the hotels that are for their previously contracted groups, like flight attendants and things like that. But we have had really honest dialogues with the hotels that are in support of keeping it as closed off as possible. So I would say if there's any, it would be a very, very small number, and I would doubt it to be football fans, to be honest.
Okay. Another thing someone did point out, well, they do get recognition. DCTV honestly doesn't get enough love for everything they've done and become. I would, I don't think you can give enough love to DCTV or to the at all, period. But especially for the Herculean effort that they've done for the last 2 years. Can you tell us what we might be able to expect new or different this year from DCTV on the virtual side?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing, I know y'all I completely understand the sentiment, and from a personal, I agree and could not love them more. I will say, from the show perspective, one of the most exciting things that we've been able to do since the success of DragonCon goes virtual is upgrading a lot of the resources on that side. We were able to prove with DragonCon Goes Virtual that there was an appetite among fans for streaming that we had not seen previously necessarily. So one of the biggest things, we took that and built on that for the hybrid show that we're going into now. One of the coolest things is the streaming platform. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean this at all. Like the team's creativity and brilliance behind it has been just amazing. But previously, we were limited in the platform, and there were, I will say, some clunkiness, particular around searching and what we were able to put on there, and where fans could get a little bit discouraged from it. And that's one thing that we did right after DragonCon Goes Virtual. The team really stepped up, and we looked all around, because we're not like any other, project out there that, we want to stream over one weekend and that's it. Mm-hmm. But have the ability to search archives and that for the rest of the time period. So we found a partner called Uscreen, and we had a team together, and we have built that. So that's a really great thing from a fan's perspective. So come the live stream when it begins on Thursday, it will be streaming to dragoncon.tv. But the background is going to be Uscreen, which is kind of cool. So if you get a streaming membership, which is only $10, that was another big change this year. Previously, we had a tiered approach to it, but we wanted to make sure it was as accessible as possible for people to have content at a very low price point. So when that stream starts, we'll have 2 official channels going through the duration of the event. A fan track channel. I think I say it's my favorite thing a lot. Like, I have a lot of favorite things, apparently. For myself, as I'm talking about it.
Right?
Right, it's really hard. But the fan track is really cool, because that is something that grew directly out of DragonCon Goes Virtual and building a virtual show and seeing how well it is received. Because with DCTV, we focus on the ballrooms on site, because we just don't have enough, cameras, operators, and all of the things to cover the entire show. So we've always known from a content perspective that those fan panels are missing, and it's a hard thing, and that's something that our fans very much love. It's one of, again, my favorite things. When you talk to somebody about their DragonCon and what it is to them, you can get a million different answers based on their interests, their, groups that they kind of hang in and things. So we were really excited to bring that to the people at home. So last year we did a fan track channel. That is something that you will see this year too, with content that is streaming there first. So if you're, sitting at home, and of course the main channel will contain all of the normal events from the on-site show in our main ballrooms, including actually a couple of virtual events that will only go to the stream from some really neat guests. But yeah, so 2 channels will be going on all the time. And then on top of that, we've done a significant selection of our archive footage. So you can go and watch kind of your favorite panels or contests or anything from the past, as well as a good bit from DragonCon Goes Virtual last year. And the searching is just amazing. You can, put a guest in, put an actual event in, whatever you're looking for. And if it's on there, it presents itself to you. So, agreed. And DCTV has really been the powerhouse behind this. And it's been wonderful to see them not only on the tech side of it, because it mesmerizes me, because that is not my jam, but also on the creative side. They've really stepped up their game too. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but one of the things that the team also accomplished this year, this could be a whole podcast, just
right. Well,
I could go on forever, but I'm going to stop after this one.
We would have reached out to DCTV, but we know that they're also being slammed.
They are, but they're
right
just
now.
wonderful, y'all.
Yeah.
They really, really are. And like the one thing that they added from a content perspective, I don't know if anybody's been watching, but they've been releasing like bumpers or skits throughout the year. And that was something that, is really neat to see them take on top of all this technical thing and making it happen. But also putting their creativity to work. And I just love it every time I see one pop up on the feed.
Now,
I think it's also, sorry, John.
Oh, before we go back to actually in person, there was one other question. Do we know if they're still using the Roku app this year? No?
It is not. And that does have to do with the tech platform that we used last year versus this year. We hope to one day go back to it. But honestly, with changing everything, we needed to take baby steps. and to prove that this platform is going to work for us and work for everything. And then, and that people still want it, that, we're going into a year of hybrid and things like that. We know that it's going to be different from DragonCon Goes Virtual. So we're also tasked with making sure that the appetite is still there so that a lot of people will use the streaming service, which would make the Roku app possible.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's great. The other thing, Rachel, you already talked about safety. And one of the first things that you're going to do at DragonCon is go get the badge. So how has that safety part changed a little bit?
As far as just picking up the badges, is that what you mean with the COVID test in particular, or the proof of vaccination?
Exactly. Like what's going to be going on at that basement level of the Sheraton about picking up badges, or if you're concerned that, maybe you need to get tested again or whatever.
Right. So we got a lot going on in that in the Sheraton this year. So one cool thing that came from one of the attendance things, or the badge things that I didn't mention earlier, is we did make the decision that we're not going to do any on-site sales, meaning that you cannot walk into the Sheraton with, $60 in your hand or 140 or whatever and purchase a badge from the Sheraton. So that's not occurring this year. If we have memberships left to sale, they will have to be purchased online at the dragoncon.org through GrowTix. So with that, with not having any on-site handling, one, it helps us because it reduces, obviously, cash, and there are a lot of things with germs and such associated with that. So we wanted to be very careful for the people that were managing that. But also, we really wanted to be able to spread out folks. So this year, we'll have registration occur, or badge pickup, in both the Georgia and Capitol ballrooms of the Sheraton. So we did that so that we can process people quicker. We can keep the line moving, get your badge, get out as quickly as possible. So that's going to be the core of what's going on. So if you show up with your proof of vaccination, whether it's paper or on your phone with a picture of both the front and the back, the person checking your QR code that's going to then obviously kick off everything that's needed to pick up your badge is going to verify that information. So that's kind of first step if you show up with it. If you were not able to secure a test and you've not been vaccinated, or if you just don't choose to share your vaccination status with us, which is absolutely within their right, we do have a testing facility that we announced last night on the town hall with our partner Viral Solutions, who have been incredible from day -1, because they actually approached us before we even made the decision. And they've just been a great partner along the way. So they're going to be positioned in that same floor right around the corner, and they'll have a testing facility set up. So that testing will be $30. That is one thing that is not able to be run through insurance with the volume and the setup that they have. We got that question in the town hall last night. DragonCon's not keeping any of this. Viral Solutions has stepped up to manage everything from accepting the payment form of payment, doing the testing, everything. But it is a 15-minute process, relatively quick. As soon as you're able to be swabbed, you can leave. The data comes back to you through a text or however you've set it up. So it's really a neat process. And these people have been incredible. So, and I have heard the best positive, comments of just how customer service oriented they are. This is a tough situation for any of us to be in. And I think we have the perfect partners in somebody that's going to be able to handle this and, talk through it with people. Because obviously we know that, some people could show up thinking that they're perfectly fine and possibly positive. So we are working through all that, but we will have that available on site if you're in need of it. So again, $30, cash or credit card, no problem for them. Results within 15 minutes, and then you can come pick up your badge as soon as you have the negative results from them, that they know all of the documentation we'll be looking for, so that will qualify. But on top of that, if you come with your stuff or you go take the test or whatever, and everything that's going on, you've decided that you want to take the step and become vaccinated, we actually have a free vaccination clinic as well. I'm so excited. We have amazing partners too, called Core, that have worked with us. And actually, I got to give a real shout out too, also for our partners at the aquarium, because they're who kind of connected us to make this happen. We have a gentleman named John Walker, who I don't think could be a better partner. And he kind of connected us as we had interest. And so that was exciting. But it's a 2-day clinic, Thursday and Friday, offering completely free vaccines. You can come in. There's 2 options offered. The Johnson & Johnson one shot and done, or the Pfizer, and they will begin the Pfizer, but they'll also help you schedule the second because they have sites all around doing these vaccinations, both in the public setting like we're doing. I think it's a really cool strategy for them. They're seeing a lot of success where people are gathering and wanting to take that extra step and knowing that they want to go ahead and get vaccinated. But also they work with schools and all sorts of other things. So we're really excited to partner with them. And no, we did get the question on Town Hall that does not qualify for full vaccination that you're required to provide for the badge pickup. Proof of vaccination requires you to be fully vaccinated, which as defined by the CDC is 14 days post your final shot, whether it's the one and done or the 2 series. But doesn't matter. That's not what we're doing it for. We really wanted to do it to give our fans as well as the community an opportunity to take that next step to protect your health. So, and the community at large. So that'll be great.
Go ahead, Lee.
Well, I want to add something. You said Viral Solutions is great customer service, and they are. I've had a test done there. They were great. They were wonderful. Now they weren't going to be at DragonCon. I think it was a drive-through. Yeah. But it was great, and they're wonderful. And one person just asked John in the chat box, is there any chance that Viral Solutions will expand to Monday because some want to be tested before they go home?
I can certainly talk to them. No current plans, maybe even a small window. But honestly, a lot of it's just depending on what they have available, because they do, as your point, have all those drive-through clinics as well. I think 6 or 7. I might be. It's either 6 or 7. But we can certainly ask. We did see that in the town hall a couple times yesterday, and I think it's a great strategy. I know my husband and I are both planning on doing rapid the day we leave, as well as we already have our PCR for when we get home 2 days later before I get the kids. So yeah, I mean, I understand that the thought completely, and we can certainly ask our partners there to see what they might have to be able to arrange.
And I also want to say, if you can't do that at DragonCon, Kirby, if you go on Google Maps or Google and put in COVID testing near me, it's going to pop up a lot in Atlanta. And I even put in COVID drive-through testing near me. And I had like 8 within a 5-mile radius of myself. So if you do that while you're downtown, you might be able to. Whatever interstate you're going up, if you are doing it that way, they're going to be some around there. So do check that. And I think it's a great idea. And actually, just saying about the PCR, maybe my husband and I should do that as well. I didn't even think of that. So
yeah, that's that. I was just going to say that's a great strategy. Also, is if you want to at this point, because with the way that things are going right now, with the surge we're currently having, it's a lot more difficult to get scheduled tests, especially within a day or two of the day that you think you really need it. Right. So if you want to that extra comfort level, maybe just schedule now for an appointment at a walk-in clinic that's offering them for when you get back right back from DragonCon. So like that Monday after evening or Tuesday. And I know at least in Tampa they do have testing there at the airport as well. So
LA as well. That's actually how strategically we're getting a lot of our guests tested.
Oh. Excellent.
That's a whole different story, but yeah. So a lot of the airports I think are doing the on-site testing as well.
Yeah. And we're also near Georgia State University and Georgia Tech and lots of other places that you can walk to in 5 minutes and might be able to be tested. Plus Publix, one of John's favorite places.
Well, I don't think they do testing here at my Publix in my area, but maybe they do in Georgia. So let's talk about some more little happier stuff, if you will.
Okay.
Let's talk about the art show and the virtual marketplace, and how those things are going this year.
They're going really well.
Okay. Well, good.
no,
Nice talk.
There you go.
Oh,
All done. We're
You
good.
know, I'm saying a lot
So
more
anyway.
than that because I like to talk. But no, they're so incredible. I'm really excited. This is probably the aspect of DragonCon Goes Virtual that I wanted to see because we didn't have any element of it prior to virtual. I hope to see continue for many years to come. The success of the marketplace last year was absolutely staggering. And this year, we really wanted to make sure to bring it back, understanding that no matter what the state of COVID was at the time of the show, that there were going to be people that, chose not to be with us and wanted to be experiencing a little bit of DragonCon from the comfort of their own home. So that was kind of what, began. It was the easiest answer to come up with post DragonCon Goes Virtual of, will this continue? Absolutely. So right now, I'm excited to say that we have almost 200 participating so far. So the marketplace is still powered by our great partners at EventAny, who last year was a big part of the MVP of DragonCon Goes Virtual because they had that piece, but also helped us with our streaming last minute when we had some challenges technically. So they're wonderful partners, and it will be there. One of the cool features of it this year, I think, is that we're opening up on Thursday the 2nd. So it kind of feels like you're going to DragonCon, that kind of thing. But we made the decision to close it the following Friday, which is awesome. One, we wanted the people at home to be able to go and shop with your favorite vendors and artists and pick up the goodies that you might not be getting missing the show. But also we wanted to give the people that are at the in-person convention the opportunity to either pick up things you may have forgotten or, this year, I would say above anything, it really is about personal comfort, personal, decisions and things like that. And if people didn't want to go to the vendor hall for whatever reason, or the alleys or things like that, you could still shop post-show. So that is one that's really exciting to me. So again, it'll run from the 2nd all the way to the 10th. So that is really good. And also the vendors and the artists have been very excited about it because of the success last year. And also just, they too have experienced a really challenging year when all of these events were canceled, and they're just kind of getting geared back into it. And a lot of them have been spending these couple years making super cool things that they hope to find a home very soon. So virtually, that's kind of the rundown. You'll be able to experience Vendors and Art Show combined this year, and then Comic and Pop Artist Alley separately. So you'll be able to pick up kind of anything that you're looking for. But also, just want to touch on the phenomenal job our on-site team is doing as well to keep these events safe, as well as obviously full of really cool stuff for our people. So the art show, if you've never been, occurs in the Hyatt Grand Hall. They have an amazing showing of guests and attending artists that are all tabling, which is kind of cool. We made that change a couple years ago, actually in 2019. We made that change to kind of move it away from what we had previously so that you get a little bit more interaction with the artists. So it's not as much a sales place where you got to go to the tables. You actually get to go visit with the artists, sometimes learn about their process and kind of everything that brought them to making the items that they have. And then you can purchase something from them. We also have a display where you can go and see a gallery of all of the art from our attending artists. So that is a great opportunity. I'm always blown away by their creations, and I encourage everyone to head over there if possible if you're attending the in-person event. Again, Grand Hall the Hyatt. And then the vendor marketplace, or vendor, sorry, in person is in America's Mart Building 2, floors 1 through 3, and Comic Artist Alley takes us to floor 4. So it's so exciting. One of the coolest things that's happening this year, we decided to expand back from 2019. We began a kids sketchbook in the Comic and Pop Artist Alley. And what that does, I totally wish I'd have brought one, is it's a little book that you get complimentary. You can pick them up at the tables in front of Comic and Pop Artist Alley or in the art show, their registration table. And it's complimentary to kids. They get to go around, and each of the artists that are participating have a little kid sketch sticker on their name tags. So you know that you can go up to that person and approach them for a free sketch or autograph or anything like that. And we've gotten the most overwhelming feedback from both the kids that participated as well as the artists. Jamie, who's my husband and works with our comics area, handles all of that. says it's his favorite email of the year to send out to the artist to solicit people that want to participate, because it's just so kind and people are so excited to be able to interact with the younger fans and do this for them. So that's exciting. And this year, because of the success in 2019, we're expanding it to the art show as well. So that's kind of something that I'm really excited about for our younger fans.
I think that's going to be awesome because that is Christmas shopping.
Right?
Yay! And birthdays and holidays and anniversaries.
All of the above.
Yes.
Now, do the comic book alley or comic, what is the actual title of that particular?
It is. It's so confusing to me. It is comic and pop artist alley.
That's what it is. That's why I always stumble across it, because it's always like I'm not sure what to call it. But are those folks also going to be in the virtual marketplace, or is that just in other words, could they take a
commission?
Now, what's that?
A commission?
Commission. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Through there or no?
Yes, so they can. It depends on how their marketplace is set up, but we have, I think the last number I checked was over 50 that are participating specifically from the art side of things.
Okay.
So there would be prints available, as well as a lot of them already have listed the ability to begin the conversations around a commission, depending on what you want, like a one-person commission or two, or all of those things. But yes, the comics and pop artists is absolutely participating in the marketplace.
And they are also wonderful, the artist and everybody, because I had a problem with one of my orders last year. Quickly emailed them and they said, "Oh, you are right. That wasn't what you ordered," and quickly sent me what I ordered and then told me, "And that's a gift for you, what you got." So now don't do that on purpose, people, but they were very nice. And so that's wonderful. And John, as you were talking about commissions, actually, I'm going to try to find somebody who does caricatures of adults, because I realized we do not have a caricature of my husband and my son. I got like two of my son and one of me and my son, but I don't have one of Andrew and our son. So,
you got to get on that.
I know, right? Exactly. So that's great.
Now, this is probably the point. Well, first of all, is there anything else that you want to definitely make sure that we talk about? I know that there's some exciting stuff for the charity that you mentioned beforehand, but we're going to save that for our charity people. I know you really want to say something.
I'm so excited. Jody, let me just say that, has done a phenomenal job. She is one of the most creative, out-of-the-box thinkers on our team, and she's really dreamt up something, I think, adorable and amazing, and it's going to be really cool for our fans. So I will not steal her thunder, no matter how excited I am for it. But she'll be a great call tonight. I'm really excited for you guys.
Yeah. So we'll talk to her later this evening. But is there anything else that you want to hit before we move on to the last part? And I know that Lee's probably going to have to drop off because she has to go speak to a doctor. And we hope her all the best there. What do you call it? But is there anything that we've missed that you really want to make sure that we hit?
My PSA announcement, I will say, and it's something that Lee touched on before we got on this call, because I did it with the directors. And the only thing I would like to say is, one, to thank our fans for the support that has been shown over these last 2 years, whether it was supporting what we had going on with DragonCon Goes Virtual, but also riding this year out. It has been clearly the hardest year, I would say, of my life, both professionally and personally. And we are trying so very hard behind the scenes to make it a safe and amazing event, though, that is also representative of the DragonCon brand and all of those things. But at the end of the day, this is not going to be a DragonCon like any other. It is going to be something that we all remember for a very long time, whether you're making the choice to join us from home or attend in person. And I would say that the biggest thing in these last couple of years, whether it's on social or things like that, my message for the year is grace for everyone, you know. And John, you pointed to it earlier, that if you're not comfortable, that is okay. And all of those things, and trying to, work through everything that everyone is dealing with. and do this, and just ask that, our fans continue that and continue to support us, and know that it's just not going to be like any other, and support each other, most importantly. As I think that's the message that I would want heard more than anything. Is sometimes social media can be very contentious at best.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of strong feelings around doing too much, not doing enough, and all of those things. But at the end of the day, I feel strongly that the world is built on respect, and that you can have differing views, you can have differing things, but by golly, you treat each other with respect and love. And I know I'm a mom, and when I go into that voice, it feels like I'm about to put someone in a corner. But I kind of joke of like, stop that, or I'm going to pull the bus over. Kind of what I'm feeling. And just asking people be good to each other. We all need this. We have all had a really difficult 2 years, and patience, kindness, those things matter.
Yeah, and to your point, and I've mentioned it already on the podcast, but I originally was going to be attending in person,
Mm-hmm.
and just with everything that happened, I've for my own personal well-being, I am fully vaxxed. My entire family is fully vaxxed, but just with a couple of people in my life who have conditions that would be very bad, even though they are vaxxed, that it could potentially, we don't know because it's all a mystery. I have personally decided to just attend virtually. It pains me. I'm going to miss all seeing my friends in person. But again, it was a person. Everybody has to do what's comfortable for them. Even on non-COVID years, you still do what's what's comfortable for you. So I don't think anybody should shame anyone for their choice if they decide to stay home. It's like because of whatever. Everyone has their own thing they have to deal with. So to that end, that's but anyway. That's it.
Yeah. So Lee has to go. I love everybody.
Love you.
Love you too, Rachel. See you.
Hey, take care. Please give me an update.
What?
I said, take care and please give me an update.
I will. Love all y'all. We'll be back on Charity tonight, John. So
okay. So
you might be black screen.
Lee is dropping out, but we do have a game that we are going to play.
Okay.
With you. I do have one other question that did come in that I did want to address. Zan did ask pretty early on, what areas still need volunteers? Do we know? And can people apply to be volunteers in person?
No. Yes and no. Okay. Yes, we still need volunteers. We are, the on-site piece are only going to the major areas. So, and I don't want to misspeak, but I believe it's just safety and tech ops. Mm-hmm. That would be accepting just mass, hey, I just want to volunteer, put me somewhere. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're trying to handle every situation uniquely on its own. If something happens within a track or within an area and we need to work with them, we are doing that personally. But as far as your general person that maybe makes the decision walking up to the show that they would like to volunteer, it will be very limited into the large areas where the support is needed most.
Okay. Yep. Okay. And also Jerry just points out, I love you all like family. Good luck with everything you guys during this crazy year, especially this year. Attendees, volunteers, con heads, be safe and watch out for each other. And I will add, be nice to each other.
Please.
That's an every year rule, but it's especially true this year.
That Jerry has my heart. He's one of the best people to have in your corner. He is passionate, always speaks his truth, and really is a phenomenal human being. So, and obviously has great questions too. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So, Rachel.
Yeah.
We normally play a game here at the end with our guests. This year
it makes me nervous every time.
Well, guess what? This year you're going to be with company. So we've been playing on Jackbox this year. So if you, I probably should have warned you about this beforehand, either on your phone or on another tab on your browser there. If you can go to Jackbox TV, and I'll put in the private chat real quick. I should have done this earlier.
Okay,
Jackbox.tv. Okay. And here's the in the private chat on there on you see that. I will open it up for our folks that are watching to play along. We're going to be playing Quiplash tonight.
Oh
Did you get in there?
no, I'm going to be so bad, but that's
Doesn't
okay.
matter. It's they're DragonCon related questions.
Okay,
There we go.
okay. Oh, I get to select a character. Oh, I'm going to be the cactus. That's fun.
So anybody that wants to participate, and let me pull up the volume here. The room code is. Oh, somebody's already gotten in there.
This room code to play ZGWB.
Oh, somebody took the coffin. Oh. Oh, banana. Sorry, this is so excited. I've never seen this.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
excited.
Let me.
I know we use it, and we've done a great job with virtual. We've had a really fun thing, but oh, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Do I have to unload episode or report episode, or do I just sit and
No.
chat?
You just leave it. You just leave it alone. It'll. I'll take care of everything on my side. The only thing you're gonna have to do is there'll be a couple of prompts that will come to your phone, and you're just gonna fill in the prompts, and everyone else will get stuff to their phone or to their whatever device they happen to be using, and they'll answer as well, and then we'll vote on the best answers when they come up.
Okay.
So it's really low stakes here.
Okay, cool. I feel better about that. I can answer you. Ask me about the operations of the convention all day long. I'm good. But anything, yeah, no. Okay.
And Jerry says, "Of course, I took the coffin. I'm in horror track."
I should have known. That's a very smiley horror avatar, though. He's very smiley.
We'll give it 1 more minute, and then if no one else joins in, we will start the game.
Okie dokie.
While we're waiting, where's the best place to get all of your official DragonCon information?
It depends on what kind. The website in general, dragoncon.org, is the best. Specific to everything with COVID, because by golly, it changes so much, or has throughout the last several months when we've begun communicating. It's dragoncon.org/updates. Is the best page to. I also obviously encourage everybody to follow us on social media. Especially this time of year is even more exciting because we're promoting kind of the cool things that the tracks are doing and our partners are doing and all sorts of things. So basically everywhere.
Okay. Since we don't seem to have anybody else joining in, we're going to go ahead and start the game. Here we go, guys.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
Oh, you're fine.
It's time for Quiplash 3, the Quips of Doom. I'm Schmitty, and it seems fate has brought us together to make fart jokes. Didn't make it in the game and want to be heard? Put in that room code and vote in the audience. It's the prequel to round 2, round 1. I'm going to flash 2 prompts on your device. Type something ingenious that will stand up against another player's response. Then everyone will vote for their fave, and one of you will get an ego boost. You're going to get points based on the percentage of votes you get, so don't hold back.
Okay, everybody that's playing should have a couple of prompts on their machine, on their whatever machine they happen to be using. Now's time to go do that. Once I see that Rachel's gotten hers in, I will. There is a question in the audience that is actually a very good one that I didn't even think about.
Okay.
That we will ask while we wait for others to enter their answers. Okay, I think Rachel's in there. Okay, so here's the question: how do we know where panel lines start with the extra distancing?
So start at panel lines where they always start, and that's it. So we don't have any plans for that. Our plans primarily are focusing on keeping them spaced out. And one of the biggest things that we're doing, well, actually it's a small tweak, but big when it comes to lines, is we used to have the policy where if you were already in line, we would kind of suggest, we think this might be where the line ends, but this year it's not going to be that. It's going to be, this is where the line ends. There is no more lining up, because you would be amazed, especially at some of the bigger panels. We would have 50 plus people still waiting, hoping they would get a seat. And we're just not going to do that this year, because we're also with the 2/3 capacity, not allowing any standing room. So they will start where they have always, or where they have started 2019, go towards the ballroom that you want to, and you'll be directed where the line is at that point.
Cool. All right.
And that's a wrap. It's
There we
quip
go.
time.
Okay, what do I do?
And here's your first prompt.
Okay, Deadpool mashups that we need right now.
Away.
Deadpool sci-fi janitor or Loki and Doc Ock? Deadpool mashups that we need right now. Loki and Doc Ock mashup with Deadpool, or Deadpool sci-fi janitors. You cast your vote. And if you're in the audience, you can vote there too. Deadpool sci-fi janitor wins, and that was Rachel.
Here we have
The reason Civil War broke out between the DragonCon hotels. Carpet design loyalty or rum buckets versus apple pie. Carpet design loyalty or rum buckets versus apple pie was the reason that the Civil War broke out between DragonCon hotels. Do, 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 do. Let's see who wins this one. Rum buckets versus apple pie. Eternal's Anne wins that one.
next one up.
Worst thing to ask a track director the day before con. When does
The one you like best.
when do the hotel reservations open, or does my 2019 badge still work? Worst thing to ask a track director the day before con. When do the hotel reservations open up, or does my 2019 badge still work?
Both pretty equal, I'm going to go with. Had to choose one.
And when does the hotel reservations open? Won that one. Weirdest thing to happen at midnight during DragonCon.
Okay, choose your favorite.
Sleeping soundly or the Wednesday night Happy New Year's cheer. The weirdest thing to happen at midnight during DragonCon, the Wednesday night Happy New Year's cheer, or sleeping soundly. Both those would be weird at DragonCon at midnight. Especially for you, Rachel.
Yes.
Maybe the sleeping soundly more weird for you at that point. And weirdly enough, that was your vote. And you got the super quick
100%.
flash.
I felt like that was the absolute weirdest thing I could think of.
And next is
Oh, wait.
Blank, a verb, the act of waiting in line for waiting hours in advance for a panel. Lining.
I like that.
Now we've had that one
Check
before.
this
Now
out.
it's good to point out you can't wait hours in advance in line. But anyway, blank.
okay, everybody.
Blank brings all the con goers to my yard. Cool weather fronts brings all the con goers to my yard, or my big old muddin truck brings all the con goers to the yard.
Oh, these are fantastic.
Let's see. Cool weather fronts is the winner there with a quiplash. Cool weather fronts bring all the con goers. Are we expecting a cool weather front this year? I mean, we got a hurricane's gonna go through this weekend.
I have to be honest. Normally, I worry about weather. I've got so many other worries this year that I haven't even looked.
All right, let's see who's winning. And Rachel is winning right now. Yay! All right, so second round.
Get yourselves ready, because round two
Rachel's
takes
so
no
excited.
I
prisoners.
almost dropped
Double the
my phone.
points, double the anxiety.
Oh no!
All right, let's see. I ain't going outside with no AC on a hot day, says Cherry. Yeah, good point. Those of you playing, you should be getting 2 more new prompts to your device. This is the second round. Then as a reminder, we have a third round, which is the triple round, which is only 1 question with 3 possible answers. Let's see. What else we got going on? This is a good time to remind everyone, if you need to reach us, it's at 50 days at theuniquegeek.com, 50 days at theuniquegeek.com. Also, when we're doing these, well, I mean, we're almost at the end at this point, but like I've mentioned before, this is the first time that we've done these live recordings with an audience this year. So for next year, I guess we're saying this. We're trying to make sure that they're more of a schedule, but with everything going on this year, it is insane trying to keep a schedule, as Rachel can probably tell you.
Yes.
So everything changes. You know, we try to make them as consistent as possible, but it's sometimes not possible. Get your answers in now. Uh-oh.
And time's
Oh, I
up.
think Zan did get her last one in there in time.
As soon as moderation is
yeah,
finished,
yeah.
we will dive back in head first, darn it.
I hear you. Hold on. Just double checking everything. Making sure.
Let's make some
it is the
noise.
internet. Want to make sure the answers are appropriate.
At the front of the line is...
An ad slogan for Atlanta weather during con. At least our people are nice, or Satan sends his regards. An ad slogan for Atlanta weather during con. At least our people are nice, or Santa, sure. Satan sends his regards. Santa also does as well.
I was going to say Santa can too, let's be honest. Love it.
Satan sends his regards wins with a super quiplash.
Okay, what's next?
A fun name for DragonCon elevators. Godot, I guess that's what it is. Or Variant Transport. A little off color, but still funny. Although, truth be told, they are in the background in Loki. Those elevators are there, and that's where all the variants live. Variant Transport wins.
And now...
The strange new addition to DragonCon TV. 24/7 Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain, or pre-recorded panels from Waiting on Godot. That's what the previous, it was Godot, not Godot. I was thinking Gal Gadot. It's just like, why is it Wonder Woman? It's Waiting on Godot. Got it. Pre-recorded panels from, it got cut off, so I'm not sure exactly what it was supposed to be. Strange new addition to DragonCon TV is 24/7 Captain Kirk climbing a mountain.
Let's keep it going.
When does DragonCon end? Never was both of them. They got a jinx. I've never seen a jinx actually occur.
That's so funny.
Panel most predicted to be bus attendant in 2021 is Doctor Who. With someone that forgot.
So sure.
Next.
No answer. What caused a fuse to be blown at DragonCon? Joker costume gone too far.
At least one of you did the work. Enjoy some points. Was round 2 as good for you as it was for me? Let's find out.
You know,
Let's see where we're at now.
going all the way back, man.
Oh, you're not at the end.
Oh, yay!
Eternal Zan is winning.
Get ready for
We have a third.
Whiplash.
Last round.
Behold, a final round to end all rounds. I'm going to send each of you a prompt that requires 3 separate responses. You'll do great.
Oh, no.
Okay, those of you playing, look at your device now. Normally I forget to say this. You should probably be looking at your device for the prompts 20 minutes before the end of the previous round when the game starts, because we're on delay, so you don't actually see that we're waiting for the prompts. But yeah, whatever. That's what happens. This is the world we live in now, and we're just trying to deal with it. Yeah. Okay. So yes, I feel bad. Yes, Zan. It was Godot waiting for Godot, and that is actually awesome names for the DragonCon elevators. And my apologies again. I was thinking Gal Gadot for some reason. By the way, I'm laughing because I do get to preview these answers, and as usual, our audience is brilliant, as most DragonCon audiences are. And this is the last round, and we will be saying goodbye to Rachel. She needs to get back to hopefully not having to reschedule all the scheduling.
Time's almost up.
Right? Good times.
Gabe, Forrest? I think Forrest might have dropped out, unfortunately. Gabe, hurry. Oh,
Better late than never, I guess.
he got in there. Woo!
Woohoo! That was close.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, Forrest has left the building. Okay, 3 things that stick to your shoes at DragonCon. Lost badges, food, and sleeping people.
Nothing like running unopposed. Here's some points.
Describe the DragonCon diet in 3 words. Fast, caffeinated, and handheld, or ramen noodles, cheap cereal, Grogu snacks. So 3 words that describe the DragonCon diet. Fast, caffeinated, handheld, or ramen noodles, cheap cereal, and Grogu snacks. Vote for your fave now. Scheduling fun. Remember years ago when William Shatner joined about a week before con? Good times. At least this time he still is currently attending, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. Quiplash. The Quiplash was fast, caffeinated, and handheld. That was Rachel's. The unsung heroes of DragonCon. Escalators, habit trails, and bathrooms without giant lines, or Bob and Carl, the setup volunteers, restaurant
that's
food
so
court
hard.
volunteers. I know both of them are really good. We usually wind up in this situation. So, yeah, Bob and Carl, the setup volunteers, or and restaurant / food court employees, or escalators, habit trails, bathrooms without giant lines. There's 3 unsung heroes. Essentially split the room, but Bob and Carl won. All right, here we go.
You rocked it. But did you rock the scoreboard?
Let's see, here we are. Zan wins!
Woohoo!
Eternal Zan wins. Rachel was in second, by the way. So
Yay!
there we go. All right, Rachel, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you taking time out of what is a busy and, frankly, hopefully the last of this unusual years that you have to deal with. DragonCon's usually unusual to begin with, right?
Right. I didn't need extra. Yeah.
So, good game, Zan, and hooray from
Love
first
it.
one's from David and then first name. Okay. So until next time, Rachel. Well,
Thank you
for
guys
everyone.
so much.
Yes. For Rachel, Lee, who hopefully is going to be, we're all sending our well wishes, and all of our fans and guests that have played with us today. Until next time, this is John saying peace. And where are we at? Oh.
This was a production of The Unique Geek. Call our comment line at 8133210TUG. That's 81332108884. Email us at thegeeks@theuniquegeek.com or 50days@theuniquegeek.com. Follow The Unique Geek on Facebook and Twitter. This podcast is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike license.